Chapter 3: The Islands West of Sumatra. Part 3: Enggano. Society, Government. The counts of Engano's social organization vary to such a degree, and so little exact information is given that no reliance can be placed on any information concerning ships or chieftaincy. According to Helfrich, the people are divided into 6 ships, each a hawak, each are scattered through the country, and each has its own chief. According to Othmans, however, each village forms a large family and chiefs are unknown. The older men who handle trade between the natives and the Malays are called ama or father, but they scarcely can bear the title of chiefs. Another, another account which relates of 5 maternal clans in Engano can be eliminated at once as impossible. There certainly appears to be no other law in the hand other than blood revenge. Differences between villages and districts, however, often settled by conciliation or by order of war. That is, both sides line up for battle behind their shields, and when the first warrior falls, the side to which he belongs is held as guilty. Most of the disputes are said to arise over questions of land ownership or fishing rights. Marriage. Outside of the laws of family incest, there seem to be no artificial hindrances in the choice of mates. This renders the presence of either patrilineal or matrilineal ships in Engano impossible. According to Modigliani and Halfrich, marriage is matrilocal, and the man enters into the family of his wife and works for this family. If the wife dies, the man continues working the fields of the wife's family until he remarries. Then he must pay a fine to the wife's family. Since the surrogate and levirate, since the surrogate and levirate are customary here, it is obvious that the husband must pay a fine if he marries a woman other than his deceased wife's sister. There is no stricter church marriage, but the man gives presents to the family of the bride, and the bride brings a dowry into the marriage. Divorces are frequent, but they involve paying back part of the marriage price or dowry. A man can have into 2 wives if he wishes. This is not done as a sign of wealth. Oldman speaks of 2 different forms of capture marriage in Engano. It is not certain, however, that these are native. They may have been borrowed from the natives of Lampong. Certainly capture marriage is present in both Nias and Mentawei. In one of these forms, the groom takes the bride upon his back, and in spite of the fact that the family of the girl already have given their consent to the marriage, they attack him with lances. If the groom comes out of the fight unscathed, he pays the bride price and brings the bride into his village. In another form of marriage, the man elopes with the bride and is followed by the father and male members of her family. The father threatens to pierce the man with his lance. The groom capitulates and pays the bride price. It is to be noticed that both of these marriage forms indicate patrilocal residence after marriage rather than the customary matrilocal. Childbirth and names. Childbirth formerly took place in the past. If the woman gave birth to the child in the house and she died during delivery, the entire village had to be abandoned. At ordinary deaths, the house simply is taken apart and moved to a new site. At the time of delivery, the woman is roasted over a chicken fire. Names are changed frequently, and the person is fined if he calls someone by former name. It is said that in taking a new name, one frequently takes the name of one's dog. A father calls himself after his child, thus Ama of so and so. Nama names are added in indication of mourning, as in Mentawei, death and mourning. The dead are buried either in the center of the village or near the village. If a person dies from contagious disease, however, he is thrown naked into the brush. If a woman dies as a consequence of pregnancy, she is wrapped in a tapa cloth and buried in the brush. Children younger than 3 months are burned after that. If older, the corpse is wrapped in a fish net and hung on a tree. The customary form of burial for an adult man is to wrap in tapa or in a fish net and put him in a grave in front of his house. The weapons, decorations, and tobacco case of the man are buried with him. If a man or a woman has a separate dwelling, then the house is moved from its former site and 2 coconut and 5 banana trees destroyed. The widower or widow goes to his or her relatives. During the period of mourning, which usually lasts 3 months, the relatives of the deceased as well as the dwellers of the town can wear no clothing. The men wear only tapa caps on their heads, and the women headdresses of rotan or pandanus leaves or a nipple leaf, which has the form of a Phrygian cap. Modigliani writes that this cap is worn by the men rather than the men, and believes that it is fashioned in imitation of nautilus shell, which is much used for ornament. Helfrich states that at the death of a man, the widow has her hair cut a little, but in the opposite case, the widower has his hair entirely shorn. Modigliani, however, states that the widow has her hair cut and is bathed in water, but that the hair of the widower is not touched. The people of the town where the death has taken place are forbidden to sing, celebrate feasts, or enter into marriages. People from other towns are not allowed entrance into the mourning town. None of the natives of the island are allowed to hunt, cut wood, or get water in the territory which belongs to the mourning town or fish in the sea on its coast. Anyone breaking these taboos would be fined, half the fine going to the family of the deceased and half to the town. 3 months after the death, a feast is given and mourning is laid aside. The relatives, however, do not as yet make use of the decorations. If either husband or wife has died, the widower or widow loses his or her name and is called widower or widow. The mourner is afraid to use his proper name because of fear of the ghost of the departed. During the period of mourning, neither a widower or widow is allowed to sleep in a pile house, but builds himself a hut on the level of the ground. The only other feast mentioned for the Enganis is that held at the founding of a new village. The people wear their ancient customs at such a time, that is to say, the men go entirely naked.